What's good? It's Extreme Caution here. Today I'm going to go my official WWE Halloween Havoc review. I'm going to go over every match on the card, what I thought of every single match, what I think the potential feuds can lead after every single match. If you like daily wrestling content, make sure you like, comment, subscribe because I upload daily wrestling content. Then jump straight into a review. The first match we'll start off with is Javon Evans, Leon Slater versus Mr. Iguana and his tag team partner. I'll be forgetting his tag team partner name. This match was fine. It was an enjoyable match. It wasn't for me personally because I don't watch AAA. I don't know much about Mr. Iguana. We had a few spots with him and his stuffed animal, the iguana. I get it's part of his gimmick, so I really didn't mind it. It just wasn't for me personally, but I didn't mind it because I understand it's part of his gimmick. Plus, it's a thing they do in AAA, so I couldn't really criticize it that much because it's just not for me. It's something that I don't watch, something that I just personally don't find that entertaining. So it's just not for me personally. It wasn't a bad match. It was a fine match. Javon Evans and Leon Slater picked up the victory, but later in the show, they ended up having a discussion due to what happened later in the show with Dark State. So it looks like they're going to be teaming up together still, and they're going to go after the tag team title. So that should be very interesting. But Leon did say that he still has some X Division Championship stuff that he has to deal with. So I don't think it's going to be immediately, but in the next coming weeks, we should be seeing Javon Evans and Leon Slater go after those NXT Tag Team Championships, so that should be very interesting. So I'm excited to see how that plays out. But overall, decent match, and Javon Evans and Leon Slater could potentially become NXT Tag Team Champs. I don't think it's going to happen, but that could be a possibility. So I'm excited to see how that plays out. Now for the North American Championship match between Ethan Page and Dr. Wagner. This was a really good match. It did start off a bit slow for me personally, but towards like the last 10-ish minutes, it started to get really good. I really enjoyed this match. Towards the end of the match, you end up getting Ethan Page, ended up throwing like some powder or some dust into Wagner's eye and picked up the victory. It was basically a street fight. They ended up calling it something else. I forgot what they called it, but it's like a AAA match stipulation. But it was basically a street fight. Ethan Page picked up the victory. He retains. I'm still asking what is next for Ethan Page because I honestly do not know because he's running out of competitors. Like, he's running out of competitors to really face, especially in terms of baby faces. So I'm still confused on who he's going to face next. But to be honest, I'm enjoying his reign. I'm loving this whole Canadian thing of him saying that he is the greatest North American. He's the greatest North American. Like, I'm enjoying what he's doing. I'm enjoying what he's doing. I'm loving I love the gimmick he's doing. He's having a good reign. And to be honest, there's no one really worthy right now to really dethrone him. So if they're going to keep the title on him, I can't blame NXT for keeping the title on him. So interesting to see what's next for Ethan Page. Moving on to the Women's North American Championship match between Zarya versus Blake Monroe. Now, Soruka is your North American Women's Champion, but she's not defending it due to an injury, and Zarya is taking her place. Does it make sense? Not really, but that's the story. So this was a really good match. Really enjoyed this match. Towards the end of the match, now during this match, they was telling the story of Zarya having a dislocated shoulder, and in the match, you end up having Soruka ends up, how wrestlers try to put it back into place. You get Soruka's doing that, but she ended up attacking Zarya. Like, she pushed her into the ring post to put it back into place. But technically speaking, that should have been a disqualification because you technically attacked her, but they let it slide. But you end up getting Blake Monroe ended up kicking Soruka's cane that she was walking with. Zarya ends up attacking Blake Monroe, then rolls out of the ring to help Soruka to check up on her. This allowed Blake Monroe to take advantage. She ends up hitting a DDT on the outside of the ring, then hits a DDT inside the ring to become your new women's North American champion. Honestly, I like this. I like what they did here. I can easily see the story that they're telling. Potentially, the Zarya and Soruka stuff. Blake Monroe is finally champion NXT. It only took 3 months. I'm surprised it took this long. I thought that she was going to win it quicker. I was saying around Evolution she was going to win. But I like what they did here. Not mad at it at all. Very interested to see how this Blake Monroe title reign plays out, because she has a lot of competitors that she could easily face on the babyface side. She could face Lola Vice, Jada Parker, Lash Legend, Thea Hale. Like, she has a lot of baby faces that she could easily go against. So especially with JC Jane not being champion too, NXT needs a top heel. So with JC Jane losing that NXT championship, Blake Monroe can easily take her spot as the new top women's champion, heel champion. So I like it. Now for Zarya and Soruka, pull the trigger. Look, this story, I like it, but it's reminding me a bit of the Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. Pull the trigger within the next month. We do not need another 3 to 4 months of this story. We don't. It's a simple story to tell. You could do two things. You could have Zarya be the one to turn heel. Blake, you could easily have her blame Soruka for the reasoning why Blake won, or you could flip it. You could have Soruka actually turn heel in this situation. Soruka could blame Zarya in this situation. Zarya would feel unappreciated, and then Soruka could easily turn on Zarya, or you could have Zarya turn on So for blaming her. Either way, it works, but you do not need that much time to tell this story. You could tell it for like another month. After that, we need the trigger to be pulled. You already teased it enough. We don't need that much more storytelling. So hopefully, within the next month, I give it until after Survivor Series. After Survivor Series, this story should really be one of them should be turning heel. So I'm interested to see how this plays out. I'm glad that Blake Monroe is champion, and I'm hoping either Soruka or Zarya turn heel by that point. But this was great. Now, the match of the night: Jacy Jayne versus Tatum Paxley for the NXT Women's Championship. I'm honestly not even gonna go over any spots. I'm just gonna glaze Tatum Paxley because anyone who watches this channel knows that I love Tatum Paxley. She's one of my favorites. I've been wanting Tatum Paxley to win the NXT Championship for the last 2 years since I've been wanting her to win since her whole story with Lyra Valkyria. The fact that she won completely shocked me because throughout this entire match, I literally kept my hopes low. Anytime she had a pinfall, anytime she gained momentum, I just kept my expectations low. When she hit the 450 splash, I was just sitting there just waiting for the kick out. But the moment when they had during this match, the culling and fatal influence got kicked out, but then eventually the culling and fatal influence come back after they got kicked out. You get Izzy Dane going with the championship, tries to attack. Apparently, it looks like she was attacking Tatum Paxley, I'm going to be honest, but they're going to tell the story of Izzy was trying to attack Jacy, but it clearly looks like she was trying to attack Tatum Paxley. She ends up failing. Jacy Jayne ends up seeing her. She ends up taking out Izzy, but Tatum Paxley takes advantage and hits her finisher. When she hits that finisher, I was still expecting Jacy Jayne to kick out. But when they counted 3, I almost cried. Literally. My eyes immediately got water. I'm still emotional about it because I'm just so shocked. Because I thought she was never going to win a championship in NXT. I thought she was just going to be another talent, wasted, go to the main roster, and could be completely underutilized. Because I'm still iffy if she's going to work on the main roster in terms of just booking, because I think she could connect with fans. I just don't think Triple H will see that. But long as she's successful in NXT, that's the main thing. But the fact that they actually pulled the trigger, I'm happy. And then they're still telling the story of Izzy Dane being jealous of Tatum Paxley. They still have that story. This is great. I'm loving I love this. This was the best thing of the show. This is the one thing, if you didn't watch this PLE, this is the one thing you should look out for. This was a great moment. Tatum Paxley was over as hell in this entire match. She's been that over since her friendship with Lyra. This is just great. I'm gonna be that moment alone makes it a 10 out of 10 pay-per-view. I'm a bit biased, but that moment alone makes this a 10 out of 10 pay-per-view. I love everything about this. I'm still in shock of it, but I'm excited to see what's next for Tatum Paxley. I am. Jacy Jayne, I honestly don't know, because I don't know if this is the breakup of Fatal Influence or they get called up to the main roster. I highly doubt that. They're probably going to do some filler feuds until then. Probably going to get a rematch eventually. So interested to see how this all plays out. But Tatum Paxley's NXT champion. That's all that matters. Now for the NXT Tag Team Championship match between the Hardys and Dark State. I'm not going to really go over this match. This match was fine. This was a broken rules match, which is basically a street fight. For whatever reason, they had ladders on the outside. I don't know why. You end up getting a 6 spot with Jeff Hardy doing a swanton off a ladder onto 2 tables. Don't know why Jeff Hardy is still doing that at his age, but it is what it is. Dark State win. I'm not going to go that in depth on this. The Hardys shouldn't have won those titles in the first place. It was kind of ridiculous that they won those titles, to be honest. But Dark State won them back, which is fine. We know the real reason why they won those titles was only because they needed the match with the Dudleys for the TNA titles, and they made it title versus title, so that's why they won. Dark State won. They retained, which is the right choice. Their next challengers look like it's gonna be Javon Evans and Leon Slater whenever that happens. I'm actually somewhat excited for the tag team division because NXT, it looks like they're actually shaping up a decent tag team division. They're actually showcasing other tag teams outside of fucking Hank and Tank for once. So it looks like they're actually gonna have a decent rank because now we got Dark State, Hank and Tank, OTM, Chase U, and there's one more team I'm forgetting, but there's 5 teams in total. Oh, and the Culling. So they're actually shaping up a nice tag team division for once. So I'm actually excited for this time. I'm actually excited for the reign this time because it looks like they're actually showing consistency now. Now for the main event, Ricky Saints versus Trick Williams. I'm not gonna really go there in depth on this match because this match was whatever. It wasn't a bad match. It was a decent match, but it was fine. Ricky Saints retained. There was not really anything noticeable, really noteworthy to really like talk about. Ricky Saints win. Just interested to see who's going to be his next challengers because in terms of heels, he doesn't really have any credible heels to face. Why is it a problem? Every single time Ricky Saints wins a championship, there's no one for him to face. This was the same problem with his North American Championship run. Never got the same problem with the NXT Championship run because there's really no heels for him to face outside of what we're not doing Ethan Page again. So unless we're going like the Lexus King route, like there's really no real heels. Like there's really no heels for him to face. To be honest, the certain championships are just meant for heels based on how NXT has everything set up. Like the NXT Championship is perfectly set up for like a tweener or a heel champion right now. Overall, this was a great pay-per-view. I really enjoyed it from top to bottom. Not really much to really complain about for this show. You guys let me know your overall thoughts and opinions below. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. But yeah, that's it.